All right, guys. I want to spend a little bit of time going over the 7 habits of highly effective people or highly effective teams as we use in class. So I've got a little slideshow together, not very long. We're just going to go over a couple today, and then it'll just give you kind of a jumping off point for either what we've talked about in class already, or it'll give you a new perspective on some things, which I hope happens. So let's introduce the 7 habits if you're not already familiar with them. So, a couple of introductory quotes. So, on their deathbed, nobody's ever wished that they'd spent more time at the office. So, what do people wish they'd spent more time doing when reflecting on their life? And normally, what that boils down to, anecdotally, is people wanting to spend more time with the people they cared about, doing the things that they loved. Okay, that's really the point and the purpose is that we want to be effective, good people who get to enjoy life, not struggle and strife and not enjoy life for what it is, because you do only get one shot at this. So the first thing we have to do is that you have to examine your relationships with other people. So your friends, your siblings, parents, guardians, your significant other, your teachers. As you can see on this chart, you can rank yourself from 1 to 5. And if you want to, go ahead and take a minute, pause the video, and do just that. Or you can just think about it in your head real quick. What's my relationship like with my friends? Is it a 1 or a 5, or is it a 3? Or what's my relationship like with my significant other? Is it a 1, a 5? Can it use some improvement? Is it perfect? You're the person who kind of gets to make that judgment call. The anatomy of the 7 habits. So if you're not familiar with the 7 habits, there are 7 of them. And the first 3 habits are about working on just yourself. And then the second 3 are about how you work with others. And then the last habit number 7, is kind of how you tie the 2 together and bring it around full circle. So you have to work on you, because if you don't know where you are or who you are, you can't know how to work with the others around you, how to interact with others, how to be a good team player, how to be a good employee. You have to know about you before you can worry about everyone else. So habit number 1, be proactive. So what does it mean to be proactive? So to be proactive is to know that things can and will go wrong. And it's about knowing how to respond when they go wrong. So let's say you're in a car accident, right? That's an unfortunate situation, potentially deadly, that you don't want to find yourself in. And you have a couple of options for response. You can drag the other guy out of his car if you're able and beat him up, or you can, be proactive, know where your insurance card is, be thankful that you haven't been hurt or hurt worse, and that you're able to walk away from the accident. Instead of responding with anger or frustration, you analyze the situation and you find the best path to resolution. Remember, being proactive and being an optimist are often linked together, and a lot of people confuse optimism for unrealistic expectations. But being optimistic means that every day won't be great, but you know that great days come, that they're there, that they will happen. So part of that is being proactive and knowing, like, yep, today's really bad, but I know tomorrow could be better. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. So have a plan for how you want your life to look like in a general sense. You don't have to have your entire life figured out at 18, because most people at 30 don't have their entire life figured out. But you should be thinking about the big things. Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to a community college? Do you want to go to university? Do you want to join the military? Things like this are all what you should be considering. Do you want to get married or have a family? Do you want to move away from your hometown? What kind of work can you see yourself doing? So notice that these are very broad, open-ended questions that can also be answered with a simple yes or no answer. The point is that you should be thinking about these things. You don't have to have all these answers right now. No one's expecting you to have all these answers on May 27th, the day after you graduate, right? Like, you should just be thinking about them. You should have a loose idea of at least where you're going to start. Okay, so these are a good place to stop. Good couple of habits to keep in mind while we're reviewing or coming over top of these 7